Dying Light 2, a game many of us have anticipated over the last year and a half, maybe even getting close to 2 years now, has once again been pushed back in development, this time indefinitely, not just until spring 2020, which is actually about the time I'm recording this, maybe a month away from when it would have came out if they stick to the plan. But yeah, pushed back indefinitely now, and really what I think is they're just waiting for the new generation consoles to come out. Since the map is supposed to be 4 times bigger than all of the maps in Dying Light 1 combined, which is going to equal, it's going to be a big map, let's just say that, big map we haven't seen. I mean, 4 times probably GTA, we can think of it like that, maybe even more. Ultimately, I think they're just trying to release that with the new console with such a big map, the graphics up to date. At this point, I'm pretty late on this actually. This got released like 2 months ago, but I haven't really looked at any Dying Light 2 news in a while. I was wondering, hey, is this gonna come out? Yeah, nope. So yeah, besides the point of it getting pushed back, I wanted to kind of talk about the demo again, since I haven't really made a video on that. I know many other people have, but I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the new aspects going to be coming into the new game. First, what I wanted to talk about was the stealth. I'm wondering how big of a role the stealth will play, because I know in Dying Light 1, there wasn't exactly a big role for stealth at all. No really upgrades, I don't remember at least. I'm wondering now if they're going to have like a couple upgrades, maybe a whole side of the skill tree you can go ahead and purchase with skill points. I would like them to add some more stealth in. I think that would be really good for the game. I mean, don't overkill it, obviously. Don't make it an Assassin's Creed, right? But make it a good balance, you know? The next thing I really wanted to talk about was the combat. The combat from the demo looked better. I mean, it still looks a little bit clunky. It looks kind of just like, you know, block, attack, something like that. Definitely looks better than Dying Light 1. I think there is room for improvement. Obviously, that demo is a year old now. But actually over a year old. But one thing I did like was how when he used the dagger, you actually have to turn on that electric weapon mod right before you hit the guy, and I think that's a really good improvement for the game. A big step from Dying Light 1 where you just had the mod on, and that'd definitely be something a little bit unique, where you kind of have to turn it on, whether it would be electricity or whatever else. Another thing that really caught my eye in the demo actually, and I don't know if a lot of people have been talking about this, was the how there was such an emphasis on use of like primitive weapons. It goes after the truck, right? You see that guy with the bow, who has a bow. I mean, how big of a role are rifles going to play in this game depends on what kind of environment they're going for, because if it's sort of an environment where there's not going to be too many guns available, obviously there's not going to be too many guns in the game. It really just depends what the developers want to do with that. I do think though that the game will follow sort of a linear path in terms of weapons, where you start off with melee, primitive bow weapons such as that. If you could actually use a bow, that'd be really cool, but then I think they're going to obviously get into guns later on when it gets more serious, kind of like the first game. Some new features we see as I move along with this would be the dark zones. That's definitely something I'm really interested in seeing. Exactly, is there going to be like a loot bonus down there, you know, maybe better chance of getting a weapon from a crate or something like that, higher tier crates definitely, or because I know it's like it's a really risky thing going into those, right? So I hope there's some payoff for that. I know there's like a limited time you can actually be in those dark zones, so I hope they really just kind of make a big emphasis on the payout of actually exploring those.
You know, I could be really looking at the dark zones in the incorrect way. Maybe they're just a sort of obstacle you have to get out of once you actually fall into those, instead of being such like a loot heavy thing like I was describing before. That's very possible.
One of my concerns is with the map being so big. I know we saw the grapple hook in the demo, but will there be a vehicle? Will we be able to travel across the map like the buggies in the following, right? Will there be something like that? Because the map is looking to be humongous, absolutely humongous. Bigger than Assassin's Creed's maps, right? And those things are big. It's going to be around there or bigger. As far as traveling across that map, it's going to be definitely difficult to get far without teleporting. The story looks to be really good with them adding the new choices, basically differentiating the outcomes in the game, the endings. I think there's like 3 confirmed endings they have said a little while back. But obviously there's going to be big changes in the game, like which factions actually survive, things like that. I really like the introduction of factions too. It's going to be interesting. Multiple playthroughs obviously going to be needed to go with each faction. What I'm predicting for this pushback really is going to be late 2020, probably November, December, whenever the newer consoles are pretty much confirmed to be coming out. I'm hoping they're just taking this time to really polish the game. I believe if they had to release the game now, they probably could, but I hope they just polish the game. And I think this game really has a good chance at the end of the year 2020 being a contender for the game of the year. I mean, if they keep everything from Dying Light 1 and just improve on that, and all the improvements I've seen so far, as far as the story, the choices, the combat looks definitely better. I'm looking forward to this game coming out, and I hope it doesn't get pushed back any farther. I highly doubt it will go past 2020, late 2020. So, yeah. Tell me what you guys think down below, and see ya.
You want water for the city? I know how to get it, but you've got to trust me.
For fuck's sake, he killed Frank.
The Colonel looks like he knows what he's talking about, but can we trust him? On the other hand, we really need that drinking water, and we need it today.
I'm turning on those pumps.
What a pity.
This is another new Dying Light tool, the Scorpio. It's a devastating ranged weapon that basically one-shots your enemies.
You are as good as Run this motherfucker!
The grappling hook can also be used during combat and combined with other moves.
I'll crush your fucking skull!
Hey, talk to me.
I'm alive, but the Colonel's getting away.
Fuck him. The water's what matters.
I'm turning on the pumps.
Each pump should have its own valve. Find it.
There's a problem.
What's that? Repeat.
The alarm went off. The pumps stopped. What's going on, Matt?
It's just an old piece of junk. Find the control room and turn on the main valve before the whole thing falls apart.
I'll find it. Stay on the radio. Okay, I'm in the control room.
Good. The main valve should be somewhere there. Frank would be proud of you.
Dying Light 2 gives you the power to make choices that have massive consequences for the whole city, the sandbox space of our game. Turning on the pumps reveals a huge open-world region for you to explore, with new mechanics, quests, and things to find. It also changes the direction of the narrative. The Colonel was right. There really was a plot against him. But only he knew the area was flooded for a reason.